Hi everyone, today I'm going to talk about the film The Brain from Planet Arous, which is an American film produced in 1957. An evil brain came from Planet Arous. It took on the body of a nuclear scientist because he needed his body. After all, he was a nuclear scientist. He could come and go to places that would give power to this brain. So he would rule the earth, and by ruling the earth, it would use the earth as a way to rule over the entire universe and become rich and famous. Once more, we have the cliché of the crazy scientist who was megalomaniac for power, for money, but this time it was a brain. And then, when this nuclear scientist, when he went to a very distant place in the middle of the desert to investigate some weird atomic activity with his assistant, this evil brain killed the assistant of the nuclear scientist and took on his body. The nuclear scientist had a fiancée called Sally. And when the scientist returned home, Sally could really immediately identify that he had a weird behavior and more violent than usual. She told that to her father. She went to her father with her father to the place where everything happened. And then they found the body of the nuclear scientist's assistant, and they were contacted by another brain from Planet Arous. This time it was a good brain, a friendly brain, saying that the brain who took on the body of the scientist was a wanted criminal in their planet, thirsty for power, and that he was on Earth in a friendly mission exclusively with the purpose of arresting this evil brain. Then he told Sally and her father to keep quiet about it because it wouldn't do any good, the intervention of the army, of the government, and then that he would be in their house on the following day to plan what to do. Then the good brain, the friendly brain, did that, and he decided to take on the body of the dog of Sally's family, so the dog could follow Sally and her fiancé all the time, because the evil brain, it was nearly indestructible, invulnerable when it was in the body of a human being. However, the evil brain had a vulnerability. It needed to leave the human body every 24 hours so this brain could have enough oxygen to sustain life. And when the brain was out of the human body, it was extremely vulnerable and easy to be destroyed. This is why the friendly brain, it took on the body of the dog of the family, because then it could investigate, observe the best occasion to destroy the evil brain. And then, to show his power, the evil brain, while in the body of the scientist, it destroyed an entire airplane, and everyone inside it passed away. The police couldn't understand what happened because it was clearly a radioactive explosion, but there was no contamination. So no one has ever seen that before. And then the nuclear scientist, he wanted to attend some atomic testings as an observer, and then he would say his clear intentions to the authorities. He did that. And he asked that the representatives of the main countries on Earth, he wanted to talk to all of them. And if his wish wasn't met, he would destroy the capitals of all countries that didn't send any representative. And then On the following day, on the same day actually, the representatives of the countries, they were there. He showed his powers. He showed that he couldn't be killed by human weapons. And then he said that his plan was to enslave everyone on Earth, make the entire Earth population to work for him, and then they would create an entire military force, and this military force would take on the entire galaxy. In the meantime, the friendly brain was still working to try to prevent the evil brain from doing that. He told Sally about the vulnerability of the evil brain. Then Sally researched in anatomy books, and then she found the brain spot where there was the vulnerability. She made some drawings to show to her fiancé, because when the evil brain was out of his body, her fiancé was a normal, good, kind man as he has ever been. So Sally went to his laboratory and left a page of the anatomy book. She wrote, there was the picture of a brain. Then she wrote, oh, this spot is the brain's vulnerable point. And then the brain left her fiancé's body. He understood what he saw in the drawing, and he got to destroy the brain. And then he became normal immediately. And when the nuclear scientist asked his fiancée how could she know about the vulnerability of the evil brain and how did she know about everything that was happening, she said it was because a good brain had contacted her about the problem. And when she asked the good brain to identify himself and explain things to her fiancé, the good brain had already left. Because the friendly brain has said all along that he was only on Earth in order to arrest or destroy the evil brain. So when the evil brain was destroyed, the friendly brain no longer needed to remain on Earth. Of course, this is a B movie. It's over the top lots of times, but it throughout the decades it acquired a cult status, and it really, as many films of the era, it reflects the anxieties about nuclear weapons, especially after the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945. There was a widespread fear in the world that atomic weapons could destroy humankind. There are many films made in the 1950s and 60s that talk about that, and we can see that the brain, it wanted to use nuclear energy. It chose the body of a nuclear scientist, and we can see that it's a more or less recurrent theme in science fiction films of the era, especially in the low-budget ones. And the main actor who played the nuclear scientist was John Agar. He was the first husband of Shirley Temple, and he made lots of sci-fi films during the 1950s and 1960s. And he played his character very well. He gave a performance that matched his character. It's a film that retains the charm, the vintage charm of the 1950s, and I'm sure you're going to love that. That's all for now, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you!